Hi, my name's Paul, and I have cancer. And a few weeks ago, I felt directed to write down some of the lessons I felt I've learned from this cancer. And there are many, many, many lessons I've learned. And so I'm trying to boil this down to just a handful of maybe the most important lessons and thoughts I have on it. So I've typed this out, so bear with me on that, please. A little over 4 years ago, in the fall of 2017, I started having trouble with sight in my right eye. It turned out that I had a very rare form of cancer, very rare, called ocular or also uveal melanoma. It's a melanoma, like you get on your skin, but it's on the inside of your eyeball. I wound up going to the University of Iowa, which was very fortunate, as they are on the cutting edge of treatment where that's concerned. Mayo Clinic doesn't even offer all the treatment options I have at U of Iowa. Treatment options initially boiled down to enucleation, which is the removal of the eye, and plaque radiation. At this point, I just wanted the damn tumor out and would have been happy with having the eye removed. Well, I'm now blind in my right eye anyway. Doctor told me the chances of the tumor spreading were virtually identical either way. A few weeks later, I checked into the hospital for plaque radiation. Plaque is basically a solid gold bottle cap with a miniature silicone ice cube tray on the backside that contains radioactive seeds designed to kill the tumor over a period of several days. It's sewn onto the eye, and it stays there for, in my case, 5 days. My wife made the 2-hour drive each day, and I had a DVD player I bought for the occasion. My doctor came in most days to see how I was doing and to make sure that I understood how likely it was that the cancer would spread to my liver and kill me. I had a biopsy that confirmed that there was a high probability of metastasis based on the gene mutations they found. At that point in time, the life expectancy of someone who had metastasis, not just the tumor killed in the eye, but it had actually metastasized, was 5 to 15 months. 2 years later, I got the word the cancer had spread to my liver. That was 30 months ago, so you can see I'm an overachiever. So why am I framing this as a lesson? Simple. I believe that life is about the lessons we came to learn. Some of those lessons can be very hard, like facing your death. But these lessons, they're lessons nonetheless. I believe we're born with free will, and we can choose to accept or reject any lesson in our lifetime. Problem is, if we reject it, sidestepped it, put it off for another time, it still has to be faced sometime in the future. I'll stipulate right now that I'm spiritual and do not believe in any particular organized religion. If I did, I'd be a Unitarian, as I see the divine in everyone and everything. I also believe in reincarnation. Under hypnosis, we all claim to have lived before. Think about the childhood prodigies, the children who just know how to play the piano, for instance, or the people who are naturally talented in some area or who are driven to do some particular thing. I'm very comfortable in my approach to faith. I pray and meditate every day, usually twice a day, and have had some very profound experiences during prayer and meditation. And before anybody tries to sell me on their particular personal flavor of religion, I do pray to Jesus at least twice a day. This is not about religions. It's about the lessons the Creator has sent to us to learn. So now, after that long-winded explanation, what follows is a brief list of the most important lessons I've learned courtesy of my cancer. There are many more, but I've tried to boil it down to the most important. First lesson, don't wallow in self-pity. When I was first diagnosed, I admit that I sat on the couch, broke down one afternoon. My wife wasn't home at the time, so my only company was my 4 dogs. After about a half-hour pity party, I decided that this was nuts, dried my eyes, swore to keep living my life as long as I could, and I haven't looked back. I truly try to live my life without any regrets, as they're a waste of time and energy. For instance, I was born into a working poor family. Lived in a house that rented for $40 a month on an unpaved street with a coal furnace. My father died when I was 9. Crappy deal, right? A lot of people would resent that, but I don't regret any of it, and I really cherish my childhood. Lesson number 2, count your blessings. The greatest blessing in my life is my wife of 26 years, Sherry. She has stood beside me through all of this, through the whole ordeal. She has steadfastly stood by me and helps me in any way she can. I know many of you think this might be unrealistic, but there has never been a crossword between us. Never in that entire time. And don't get me wrong, we have disagreements, but we do keep it respectful. A near second to my wife are my dogs. We never had children between us. We have had some wonderful dogs. I've done AKC agility with 2 of them, and both earned their Master Agility Champion titles. My first mock dog, Boomer, we lost to lymphoma shortly after he earned his title, so we were both battling cancer at the same time. The second mock dog, Ellie, who happens to be a mutt, in a rescue, is still competing and still racking up AKC titles, some of which I've never even heard of. Some of my other blessings, which I am very, very thankful for, are my company pension, as I was born into that cohort where you still had one, Social Security, both parts of Medicare, and whoever the angel was that was whispering in my ear telling me to buy a Medicare supplement policy, not the Advantage, a supplement policy. So outside of premiums, which are negligible, and a few $100s deductible early in the year, my only out-of-pocket expense is gas. Lesson number 3, don't blame anyone or anything for your condition, including God. Playing the blame game is pointless. It's too late now anyway. I have the cancer, and that's that. Maybe I could have found a way to avoid all of this if I only knew and had a time machine. With the same time machine, I could have bought stock in Berkshire Hathaway with my lawn mowing money when I was a teenager, be a multimillionaire today. The problem is, had I used that time machine to duck this particular lesson, the Creator would have just sent me another one. Similar lesson to this one to take its place. Another lesson that's just as hard. Besides, who said it's about me anyway? Almost certainly there are lessons here for my friends, my family. I think of that whenever I drive by the U of I Children's Hospital. Why would a loving God let those innocent children suffer? Maybe the lessons are for the parents. Maybe the courageous soul of that child chose a difficult challenge for the spiritual growth opportunities. Lesson number 4, don't let cancer define you. Keep living life the way you want to. Do the things you want to do and don't let others define you. When it all first started, my doctor's physician assistant told me that she had seen many other people in similar situations who had totally embraced their diagnosis. If they were told they had about 6 months to live, they died in 6 months, almost to the day. If they decided they were going to keep living their life the way they want to, the way they had before, and not vegetate on the recliner waiting for death, they would live on for years. I keep mowing the yard, doing brake jobs on our cars, participating in my American Legion post, watching grandsons play soccer, and first running but now walking 5Ks, watching live theater in Chicago, and most of all, running agility with Ellie. 5th lesson, forgive everyone and everything. The Creator wants us to forgive each other. This is not to say that a thief shouldn't be locked up. It just means that he or she is a child of God as much as any of us. Don't hang on to grudges either, no matter how justified you feel you might be. Giving up on judging others is one of the hardest things I've ever done, but one of the most liberating. Bottom line is to forgive your circumstances, your spouse, your parents, your siblings, most of all, yourself. Lesson number 6, live in the moment. There's only that moment we call now. We can't relive the past, it's gone. The future, no matter how bright or bleak, isn't here yet. When the person running the gate at an agility trial calls out, "This is Ellie on the line," Ellie and I walk to the starting line. I put her in a sit-stay, I walk out a couple of jumps, and release her. And I'd better be in that moment. I'd focus on the task at hand. Ellie is certainly living in the moment and focused on the task. Everything else just happens in my life is basically the same. If Sherry and I are sitting in a theater in Chicago waiting for a show to begin, I'm there 100%. There are more lessons, but I've got to stop sometime. Things like giving up control, letting other people help comes to mind. I was always terrible at that. Another big one is accepting the idea that maybe I'm not the center of the universe after all. Maybe the lesson isn't even for me. Maybe my cancer serves a higher purpose for researchers, for instance. I could go on and on. Note that the point of all this is only partly to share this with whoever feels directed to watch it. The real point, I believe, is for me to reflect on these and other lessons for my benefit. I want to thank each and every one of you for watching. I appreciate it very much. May God bless you.